Senado, in-archive na po nila, would you have preferred na dinismiss totally? Would it have made any difference? Or is this again terminology lang, archiving, dismiss totally? Kayo po, ano naging safe sana kung ano yung naging desisyon po ng Senado?
Siguro i-premise ko lang po yung sagot ko again. I'm sorry if you think I'm being too cautious. But again, we're very conscious about not commenting on the acts of the Senate because we respect them as an institution and the various senators. As you can see during the debate, medyo maganda rin naman yung mga points.
Hours,
on either side, hindi lang yung align sa atin. On either side, maganda yung mga points. Ngayon, with archive and dismissal, sa akin naman, whatever will give spirit to the decision of the Supreme Court, which they said was immediately executory. And they said that not only once, but twice, kasi the second time was during the press statement issued by the spokesperson, when there was already a motion for reconsideration. So, hindi kasi ako ganun wala akong expertise, kumbaga, sa internal rules ng Senate on archiving. And sabi nga kasi nila dun sa diskusyon, wala naman sa rules nila yung mag-dismiss, for example. So, archiving, if that was the decision, then we just respect the decision. Because ang sa atin, if it gives life or if it abides or adheres to that Supreme Court decision, now, na since immediately executory, wala kayong magiging impeachment proceedings, yun na rin yun at the end of the day.
So, no effect ito? The terms, that doesn't really
Sa amin, no effect. And even sa motion, tanong ako kahapon, does that affect your position on the motion for reconsideration? Hindi rin po. Because nagdesisyon yung Supreme Court na void. And then, nag-file ng motion for reconsideration. So, syempre, ang thrust lang namin ngayon is to comment and respond to each argument that is raised or was raised dun sa motion for reconsideration.
Okay. Yung pumupuna dun sa naging hatol ng Korte Suprema said na yung desisyon ng Korte Suprema was based on factual errors. Na yun nga, pag pinakinggan kayo, di ba, parang, tama naman sila, ang kampo ni VP Sara. Pag pinakinggan mo naman yung kabilang panig, tama rin naman sila, hindi ba? But you cannot argue facts if it's based on factual errors. So hindi ko alam kung saan, we don't know, it's open, no, na kung saan hahantong to, na kung repasuhin ba ng Korte Suprema na, ayun pala yung facts, kung titignan natin yung House Journal, whatever. But educate us nga, Attorney Mike, kasi usually yan, pag nagbabalita ka, ang desisyon ay final and executory. In one phrase yon, final and executory. In this instance, so immediately executory, nawala yung final. So ang ibig sabihin nun, kasi meron pang legal remedy ang House of Representatives.
Yes po.
So, but if kung kunwari, katigan pa rin ng Korte Suprema ngayon, no, they will not reverse their ruling and the first, decision nila stands. Exhausted na ba yung legal remedy ng House? That's it? Kapag denied yung MR nila? Meron pa bang legal remedy after?
Technically, under the rules, yes. No? Magiging, but again, we don't want to speculate dun sa magiging decision. But theoretically, if there is a decision of the Supreme Court at nag-MR ka at na-deny yung MR mo, ang mangyari po, magiging final na yun.
Final na yun.
Of course, there are instances when in history when lawyers would file second MRs and all that, no? So I don't want to speculate on what's gonna happen, but usually that's the general rule is pag nag-MR ka at na-deny, final na yon. But again, we don't want to speculate kung anong mangyayari. At ang nangyari naman dito kasi, tama po kayo, nung sinabi ng Supreme Court na immediately executory pero hindi nilagay na final, it's because talaga namang may remedy. And I've always said it is within the right and prerogative of the House to file their MR because that is an available remedy. No, and that's not unique to this. There are decisions, but of course, medyo malayo na yung kaso. No? Like for example, in ejectment cases, may remedy ka pa. Pero immediately executory yung decision. So there are
tumatagal ng dekada no? Yung mga usually mga
So, Attorney Michael, another school of thought that was also because of this impeachment case, another recommendation was parang at least dapat sana the Supreme Court had oral arguments. were you ready, if ever the Supreme Court asks for oral arguments, diba, they will have to ask all the stakeholders, all the petitioner, the accuser, the defense, and all that to parang give their case, no, in orally. So, kayo, handa ba kayo? Do you want at least there's an oral argument para at least marinig, hindi lang yung binabasa inyong posisyon? Or do you stand?
Of course, handa kami. Even before lumabas yung decision, no, back in February when we filed it, handa tayo mag-oral arguments kasi it's really just arguing what you already put in your pleading. Pero ngayon po, yung sinasabing dapat nagkaroon ng oral arguments, of course, we respect the opinions of all these experts.
Legal experts.
Giving their comments in the media. We respect all that. But as far as I'm concerned, I think wala namang requirement. And I think inaamin rin naman ng mga experts. It's not naman required.
Yes.
No?
Pero that's what saying, sabi nila, at the very least.
That is discretionary on the Supreme Court. But if you're just asking if we're ready naman kami for oral arguments ng panahon na yun. Ready din kami. For whatever the Supreme Court orders, tayo naman bilang mga abogado, syempre susunod lang po talaga tayo. No? Kung gusto nila ng oral arguments, we'll go into it. Kung hindi na kailangan, we'll go with the, we've already stated our arguments in the pleadings anyway.
Let's get together. Sa NET25. Sa NET25.